appropriate funding mechanism for that.
Okay. And then just as a whole, I know I'm only one person up here, of course, but I did hear this at our committee, the policy committee, and earlier today. This is a significant proposal, and as we've seen, the system has worked over the past decade or so, not greatest in certain years. And so I guess the question is, why throw the whole thing away? Is there ways to mend it and not end it? And I think that's the approach that I would have. Secondly, I think, granted, we did it, a big issue like this during the budget process during LCFF, and many would debate whether or not it's the appropriate place. This is a very meaty policy change to how we've been doing these things for a long, long time, have many implications. I know the line would be all the way at the door if we want to get into how it would affect every district. And so I think something this big deserves going through the policy committee process where you can really dig into those meaty issues. And then lastly, overall, we hear on our last panel as far as LCFF that even with all these new monies, we have a long way to go. Statewide, we'd be going from, however you count it, from 49th in the nation to the mid-40s with all these billions of dollars. And the need is still great in our public education system, that focusing scarce dollars on facilities and encroaching on 98, I think, is questionable as well. So just want to make those points out there for the record. You want to jump in?
Actually, Mr. Chair, I think you just covered it.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for that. This item was informational as well. With that, we will go to our last item. Okay. The governor's 2015 proposal on Prop 39, energy efficiency projects. Okay, same folks. Department of Finance.
The governor's budget proposes to allocate $368 million of energy efficiency project funds available in 2015-16 to K through 12 schools and community colleges. From this amount, $320.1 million is proposed to be allocated to K through 12 schools and $39.6 million to community colleges, $5.3 million to the Conservation Corps for technical assistance to K through 12 school districts, and $3 million to the Workforce Investment Board for job training programs. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Elio?
We have no concerns with the governor's proposal on Proposition 39, but we'd be happy to answer any questions. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Our community colleges, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Dan Troy. I'm the Vice Chancellor for College Finance and Facilities Planning at the Chancellor's Office. With me also is Susan Yeager. She just found a seat. She's our administrator over the Facilities Planning Unit and is our in-house expert on Proposition 39. We are very supportive of the governor's budget to continue funding the grant program for community colleges in this in regard to Proposition 39. I think your agenda lays out very well how our colleges have benefited from Prop 39 over the past couple of years. We've been able to fund over 530 projects in the first 2 years of the program, distributing over $77 million worth of funds to do so. In addition, we've spent almost $11 million on workforce development projects. So we think the program works very well for us as in a package. We're able to train the workforce to work on energy efficiency, and then we're able to fund the project so folks, Californians, can get to work on getting employed and putting those important projects into place. Our districts have saved a lot of utility costs with these projects. They've also helped meet the provisions of Proposition 39 by saving the state kilowatt hours and increasing the overall energy efficiency of their operations. Over the past couple of years, our colleges, about 3/4 of the projects funded have been in the areas of HVAC and lighting. And going forward, we're expecting to see a little bit of shift in that into longer-term projects as districts move into more sophisticated long-range programs like retro-based commissioning, monitoring-based commissioning, and also generation projects such as installing solar panels. So we're, again, supportive of the governor's budget and hope to think the project is working very well for us, and look for your support as we get to a final budget.
Thank you. Department of Education.
On behalf of the Department of Education. So the department has a little bit of a different role in this. Department has a little bit of a different role in this. We essentially allocate the dollars after the Energy Commission has approved plans, expenditure plans, and planning grants from LEAs. At this point, we have allocated $600 million. We have allocated $153 million in planning funds and $70 million in energy projects that have been paid out. Oftentimes, LEAs use these dollars, or basically kind of holding on to these dollars, leaving them at the state level so that they can fund larger projects, which is why a lot of our allocations are on a slower level. So if you have any other questions, please let me know.
Thank you. Questions from committee members on this item? Mr. Chavez?
The Department of Education overseeing the energy efficiencies, do you think that was fair for us to put it on you, or would it be better to put it under public school construction, or which is more oriented towards activities like this?
So all we're actually doing is giving districts the funds. It's the California Energy Commission that's reviewing the plans and approving them. We're just simply, we receive the list saying what's been approved and then cutting those checks to districts. That's something that we do on a regular basis in paying out districts for their budgets.
So you're just passing the money out. As far as the efficiencies, are they the best agency to do it? You know, I'm on the state allocation board, and we have quite a bit of money, I guess, in bond capacity for refurbishing schools. Mm-hmm. Would there be a better agency for that?
You know, I think it depends what the legislature wants to get out of the program. I mean, the Energy Commission has that expertise specifically related to kind of energy savings, and the State Allocation Board has a very different expertise related to school construction. They could be merged, but I don't know that we're in a position to determine which agency would be better over the other.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Before we get to public comment, just wanted to ask maybe Monique over there from the K-12 perspective, or finance or LAO. Last year, apparently, of course, I wasn't here, but there was some slowness in getting out the projects, and so have we noticed any great improvement as far as spending the dollars and doing energy projects at K-12 schools?
So I'll let Department of Finance talk about the Energy Commission's approval process, because I think they're better poised to speak to that. As soon as we're getting word from the Energy Commission that a project is approved, we're essentially cutting that check within a few months. So we think it's moving pretty quickly. But as to the approval process, I'll let Department of Finance speak.
We will defer to the Energy Commission. They're actually here today. They want to speak.
Good morning. I'm Marcia Smith. I'm with the Energy Commission. Thank you. Good morning again. I'm Marcia Smith. I'm with the Energy Commission, and I'm responsible for the implementation of the Prop 39 program. And as Monique was saying, our program is a little started at a little slower pace than the community colleges. They were shovel-ready when the money came in through the Prop 39 program, and we worked with Department of Education and the CPUC to develop guidelines to run the program. We feel that we have really moved forward very quickly with the program. We are just starting our second year. I wanted to give you some information on approvals here. So as of today, we have about, for K through 12 districts, $167 million in projects that have been approved. For charter schools, about $14 million. Those are our primary recipients. And that comes to $181 million in energy expenditure plans. About 80% of the plans that are being approved are multi-year plans. obviously then 20% would be single-year programs. The LEAs are able to submit up to, for larger LEAs of $2 million or more allocations each year, they can submit 3 plans a year. That's a new rule as of the second year of the program. Otherwise, LEAs can submit a single plan per year for the smaller schools, and a plan anywhere from 1 year to 5-year plans.
Okay. Thank you. Questions from any members?
I'd like to just ask, what's your organizational structure? How many of them are you? Or?
Working on the expenditure plan program, we received 12 positions in this current fiscal year, and we have filled those positions about 2/3 with engineering support staff, and the rest are energy specialists. And they are responsible for reviewing the plans that come in the door. We have an extensive outreach program with the local educational agencies. In fact, we have some new rules and a new online application system that launched last week. And starting at the end of this month, we'll be going out and doing training. We did the same thing last year and trained about 800 different representatives from local educational agencies and their consultants.
So this was a new organization formed just to administer this program?
Yes.
And so it's anticipated it'll be 12 people?
We have hired 12. We have redirected additional staff, so there are probably about 20 people working specifically on this program. And as the volume increases, we may be able to direct other people off of. We're also doing energy audits funded through Prop 39 funds as well for schools. And so as some of those audits are completed, we may be able to redirect other additional folks to process applications. So far, we're at about an 83% approval rate of what's coming in the door and going out the door.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to hold this item open. And just clarification, the last item on facilities, it's not informational, but we're going to hold that item open as well. Thank you. So with that, if anybody interested in public comment for items 3 or 4, again, if you could please line up over here at the corner.
Mr. Chair, Dave Walrath, first representing Coalition for Adequate School Housing, and then on Prop 39 Small School District Association. On the school facilities part, representing Coalition for Adequate School Housing, we urge you to look at the part of the governor's proposal dealing with capacity, expanding local district capacity on the types of tax rate that can be issued for bonds. It's a statutory provision. Also on school bond capacity in total, the amount of school bonds that can be authorized by the voters. We make this request that this be done this year because school districts are beginning to plan whether they'll place a bond on the ballot in June or in November 16. Yes. They need to know how to size that bond and what is acceptable. If you can address that part of the governor's proposal, which I believe is supported not only by Cash and the administration, but by other organizations. Secondly, just response to the first come, first serve. This is an eligibility program. First come, first serve implies if you get there first in front of the line, you get funded. It's not that case. You have an eligibility process that you have to go through that's controlled and defined by the state, reviewed by the state, to see whether you have the funding available, whether you have the eligibility. On the Proposition 39, representing small school districts, would like you to consider an issue that we have, particularly in areas where it's public power, irrigation districts and like that. They're below state average. And so when eligibility and funding for Proposition 39 is based upon savings compared to investment, if you are a very low energy cost area, then you cannot make your savings target in the same way as other districts.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. I'll give you a pass. I didn't tell you the rules of the timing, so obviously you just kept talking. But we'll do, since there's only a few,
Thank you.
We'll do 1 minute or less for the final 6 people.
Mr. Chair and members, Ian Padilla, also with the Coalition for Adequate School Housing. I'll go in 15 seconds. Fully support the Governor's Emergency Repair Program proposal. It's been a long time coming that would fulfill the state's needs. Also appreciate the proposal for the 3% RRMA, but do not support the expansion of the use. It's not enough for mod and growth, and it's not enough for maintenance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair and members, Enrique Roacho with the California Association of School Business Officials, and I'll be quick as well. The committee did receive a letter with the budget positions outlining a more detailed letter, including our support for the governor's LCFF proposal. On facilities, CASBO does support placing an education bond as a ballot, and as well as opposes the use of Proposition 98 funding for school facilities. And we also think that the local-state partnership is critical to school facilities. And with that, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rebecca Curley on behalf of the County School Facilities Consortium. County offices of education directly serve a population of students with specialized needs on a regional basis. Think special education students, court school students, community school students. And we agree with staff that the governor's reforms will not enable districts and county offices to fully fund their facilities needs. County offices do not have the authority to issue local bonds, and so therefore we lack local resources for our facilities projects. And the governor's proposals don't actually help county offices. Proposals on the developer fees, lifting the Prop 39 caps, those just don't apply to us. So when we talk about targeting, the governor is talking about targeting funds to districts who can't raise sufficient local bond funds based on their low assessed valuation. That metric just doesn't apply to county offices. So we urge you to consider our unique needs when you are thinking about a future program. Thank you.
Hello again, Pamela Gibbs, representing the Los Angeles County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Arturo Delgado. On the one issue regarding the routine restricted maintenance issue, we have, as county offices, we have a different set of circumstances. A lot of the properties that we have are leasehold interests, so to have us put more money into that fund and have it be flexible really doesn't. We have to look at something a little different for us because we're not going to be able to do the same kind of maintenance issues and services that districts do. It's just a different situation. For example, we have a lot of janitors, and I don't know if we could ever get to that 3% number. For us, probably be $6 billion. I don't know how we would get to use all of those funds for the particular needs that we have. On the issue regarding the school facilities program, we do disagree with the governor's proposal. And again, for the reasons previously stated, I know we're short on time, but as a county office, we don't have the ability to raise the same kind of funds that districts do. We don't have the ability to seek bonds. So for that reason, we need the state partnership in order to help us with our facilities programs. We have unique challenges, and we serve an extreme at-risk population. I know the governor's proposal addresses the needs of certain populations and wants a need-based program, so we think that we should fit into that and be able to partner with the state in order to serve those kids in our facilities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman and members. Tristan Brown with the California School Employees Association. We are here today to speak on the school facilities issue and our agreement with the Education Coalition. I think some of the other comments you've heard today about the use of general obligation bonds being the preferred method for school facility finance. We are also opposed to the use of Prop 98 money that would go into any school facility financing, and believe that that state and local partnership in general obligations bond has been the best method, and we'd like to stick with that. So with that, thank you.
Good morning, members of the committee and staff. I'm Martha Alvarez, San Diego Unified School District. The only part of the proposal that we agree with the governor is the trying to raise the local bond capacity for school districts, raising the toolkit for districts to raise additional revenues. However, we agree with the other speakers that the state still has a continued role in having that state, local, and private partnership. And for that reason, we encourage the legislature to look into placing a state bond on the state ballot in the future. We also want to emphasize that some of the pieces in the governor's proposal, they have serious concerns. In the interest of time, I'll just mention one example. Developer fees can only be used for new construction projects. In a district like San Diego Unified, 70% of our projects are modernization or renovation projects, so we wouldn't be able to use those funds for renovation. We oppose the use of Proposition 98 for any facility proposal in the future, and any use of one-time money should be used for mandates or ongoing money for LCFF. Thank you.
Okay, it's still good morning. Good morning, Chairman McCarty and members. I'm here to talk about Prop 39 on behalf of the School Energy Coalition. My name is Ana Ferreira, and I'm the Executive Director. You mentioned how schools are taking a little bit longer to get their projects done. That is true, but in the first year of the Proposition 39 program, they accessed those $153 million in planning funds. It's actually in your materials. That's a commitment that they've made to move forward with planning, benchmarking, data gathering, all of those things. We're now moving forward at a faster pace. The CEC has been great. We've been working with them since the beginning of the program. We're trying to meet a savings to investment ratio of 1.05, and recent guidelines changes that have been made by CEC allow us a broader ability to do that. That, coupled with a third year of funding proposed this year, I think we're going to really see those projects move forward. But discovering those projects, which projects work best for those sites under that framework, just takes a little time, especially if they've already done lighting and motion sensors and things like that to lower their utility bills pre-Prop 39. Now they've got to figure out how to go beyond that, especially if they've got HVAC and roofing and other things that they want to get done in those plans. So they're moving forward with those. They've listened to us, and we're hoping that those things will help us move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, again, this item was hold open, and thank you. We'll adjourn the hearing.